Hey ho, it's Chip from Chips from Mystery Angels. How's everyone doing? I hope you're all well and fine. So, I've got the interview from, is it Voice Behind the Wall or something like that? I think it's pathetic that they're saying, oh, if you have your say and you want to go against Don or Candice, we'll block you. Everyone keeps asking me, what side do you on? Because we can't work out what side you're on. It's plain and simple. I'm on the side of Summer and the boys. So here's the thing. Summer loves her dad. That's true. Now, he's not a dad. I wouldn't even call him a dad. But I've got to respect her. I don't want her feeling sad. I don't want to be hurting her. So the only reason why Don's not being ripped apart by me right now is because I'm respecting Summer. But I'm not in the side of any of the adults. To be truthful with you, every single adult in Summer's life and the boy's life has failed them in one way or another. This day would not happen where Summer's missing if it wasn't for the people in her life. And everybody's got to take responsibility for that. Right? I am on the side of Summer. I'm on the side of the boys. I'm not on the side of police. I'm not on the side of Chris. I'm not on the side of Don. I'm not on the side of Candice. I'm not on the side of anything. The only reason is Don's getting respect off me, where I'm not ripping him and ripping him and ripping him, because believe me, I would love to. I could go at him with what I've got, right? But I'm not going to do that for Summer's sake at the moment. Out of everyone, Summer, it's just really weird, because Summer does talk about her dad and say, I love you, Daddy, I love him, and stop crying, why is Daddy crying, and stuff like that. But what's really weird is, if she really loved that teacher, the Sunday teacher, then she would have talked about it, and yet she hasn't mentioned her name. Which is really odd to me, considering all them pictures and videos of Summer being dead close to this teacher, saying that this teacher saying, oh, that there was a friend, her daughter was Summer's best friend. Yet Summer doesn't mention them. She mentions a brother. She mentions Yucky, which is Lucky, her dog, a lot. She mentions Lucky a lot. And she mentions her dad a lot. But that's it. She says, now my brother's safe. And it's like, yeah. And then it goes, well, what do you say to Dad? And he goes, Daddy keeps leaving. Can you tell him I love him? Can you tell him to tell people his dreams? And stuff like that. She never talks about Grandma, never talks about Candice. You have to drag it out of her. Never talks even about Hunter. And that's the bit that really gets to me, that is. And if you look at the photographs, they're not very old photographs. You've got one or two of Summer being small, but apart from that, not as many as in the last few months. If you look at all the years Summer was born, from birth upwards, and you see the photographs, they haven't got many of Summer at that age. Number two, how did Summer survive that environment from the age of, say, 1.5 to 4? Because that's when she'll start crawling and walking. So you would have to be on top of your game to keep an eye on her, especially in that dangerous place. So how did they keep her safe at those years where she started crawling and walking? Because you know what they're like, once they start crawling and walking, you turn around and they're like, bloody hell, where are they now? So that's when I would have thought she would have, like, gone missing or crawled somewhere or fell down or something. Because I found it the most hardest was when the kids started crawling and walking. My heart was in my mouth constantly when they kept falling over and stuff. It was, like, awful. You had to watch every second. They were in everything. So somewhere like that house would be so dangerous to Summer as a baby. So how would they keep her from crawling around and getting out and falling down things? And baffles me. And yet she's 5 years old, can walk pretty good, pretty intelligent girl goes missing. Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense, does it? At all. Well, it does make sense with what I've got in my head. So anyway, so apparently this Mr. and Mrs. Shear, whatever you want to call them, are saying to people that they can't have a go at Don Wells and that. But guys, I know Summer loves her dad, right? And whether he's done this or not, he's still got a criminal record. He was a drug runner. So take away all the stuff that people are saying, like when he was younger, although he slept with a 5-year-old at 12 years old and at 18, you know, he had to go to prison, then he tried it on again when she got stronger. But let's put that to one side and put the side that what he has been convicted of. Do you realise he's bringing drugs into this country, your country, providing so children will suffer? It don't matter whether children are taking it or not. Children will suffer. How many accidental child deaths is there, or hospital missions is there, of children that parents take the drugs, leave it on the table, and the child puts it in their mouth? Child being neglected, the child being left because the parent becomes addicted to that stuff. So, you know, you got to blame. He did this. He brought that substance into your countries. He's a drug runner. And he has a cheek to turn round and bitch about drug runners. I'm sorry, but call the kettle black. If that's a saying or something. I think it is, isn't it? Call the pot the kettle black. Something. You guys comment down below what I mean. But do you get what I'm saying? You're saying they're not safe. You're saying, oh, there's loads of drugs that come up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Some of us been there for 5 years. They've not just started doing that. 5 years. Your missus buys from these people. Number one. Number two, you're leaving your children in the care of one of them people you're having a go at. And the only reason why I'm not ripping you one, Don, is because I know that your daughter loves you unconditionally. And like you said, you don't know why she loved you, because you don't understand what love is. That's why you don't understand why she loved you. And Candice just sitting there, allowing him to say, she loved me more than anyone. What are you going to do, marry your own daughter? You've got your wife there who gave birth to your daughter, your precious daughter that you say that you love unconditionally. You allowed your beautiful, lovely daughter that you loved unconditionally to be in the hands of a woman who didn't want her. You know when people say, why did Don say he knew something bad was going to happen? Think about it, guys. She wanted to get rid of Summer from day one when she found out she was a female. Her mother was going to adopt Summer. He was the one that stopped it. And he's going on. Summer's the only... It's not natural. Summer's the only one who ever loved me like that. A young lady. Your wife is sitting right next to you, mate. You married her. For all sake, for all others. This is what's making me angry, is that people are sitting back. Candice is sitting there, and nobody's saying to Don, how could you know it's not normal for you to believe that your daughter loves you more than your wife when you're together. I get it if you separate or if you have arguments and you're no longer in love with each other, but according to you, you're in love with each other. So if you're in love with each other, your wife's sitting right next to you, mate, and you're turning around saying that your daughter is giving you unconditional love. She's the only one apart from God. And Candice is just sitting there taking that. You want to know why Summer's not there, mate? Look at your wife. Look what you've done. She didn't want the female child. She didn't want Summer. You forced her to. She didn't want to look after her. You forced her to. She had to take drugs and alcohol every day to survive her life because you wanted her to. Summer was going to be adopted by her grandma, but you said no. You forced Candice into loving Summer. You said for 18 months, Summer didn't want a mum. That's not true. Every baby from firstborn up needs their mum because they need the breast milk. And every survival instinct is to make that child bond with that mum and that mum bond with that child. It's a survival thing. Nature. The only time it breaks is through depression, a mental disorder like post-traumatic stress or postnatal depression, baby blues. But on top of that, if she didn't want Summer, and then on top of that, Don's attention and care goes to Summer. And what happens when Summer starts going to school and meets a new teacher and meets friends? Who's going to shut her up? Who's going to be there to shut her up? See, at church and that, Robin doesn't take Summer alone. So Summer won't say anything. But when she starts going to school, she's going to be around a teacher a lot. So what's saying she doesn't say things about what's happening that she's sharing with mummy and daddy, and she's close to daddy. Show you a trick, mate. All groomed kids think they're loved by their abuser. And Summer's no different. Summer thinks you love her. You dirty, disgusting person. And whether you had anything to do with Summer's disappearance or not, you were very clear you knew this was going to happen. And yet you allowed your so-called loving daughter. You said you loved Summer. Honest to God. And you left her with a woman who didn't want her. You left her with a woman you knew was going to do her harm. It's a bit strange, mate, that one, Candice phones the police a few months previous that you beat on her. 2, that she's scared for her and her kid's life and her mum's. 3, the fact is that Candice has the same bruising. We've seen the photograph. She has exactly the same bruising as Summer. Now, I know you wouldn't have done that to Summer, but I know she would have. And I know exactly what you're doing. If you come home from work and see Summer with bruises, you give Candice exactly the same bruising as what Summer's got. And you think that's going to build a bond between mother and daughter. Do you know why Candice is not sitting there with tears in her eyes, distraught that a child? It's because she's numb. She doesn't know what to feel, how to feel, because it's being banged out of her. What woman would sit there and listen to her husband say, the only one who loves me is my daughter and God? She's just happy Don gives her money to go out drinking, taking drugs. She's not bothered. about anything else. He goes to work, she stays at home, she gets that, so she doesn't care what he does to her. She's lost her soul. Her soul is gone. It's numb. It's called fragmentation. You fragment, your brain fragments to keep your survival technique. So she could fragmentate, go to sleep, and another part of her brain could come away and kill Summer and not even know she's doing it. I have this thing called white rage. When anything bad happens, I shut down because I can't hurt anybody. But when I wake up, I've got blood all over my hands and someone's really badly hurt. And apparently it's called white rage. It's when some people have 4 personalities, 5 personalities, 6 personalities. And it's like going to sleep and the other personality comes out. They've done it under hypnosis and everything. And it's called fragment. So her brain's fragmented. I'd love to see her having blackouts and see who the other person is. It's not schizophrenia. It's when you abuse so badly that your brain fragments into different personalities to protect you. So you don't remember yourself. So when you come back, everything's changed, but you don't remember what happened. Like you know, this isn't you. It's just another part of your brain protecting you. Because you can't hurt nobody don't mean that another part of you can't, that it shuts down. So it's like you go to sleep and when you wake up, you know, every night when you fall asleep, then you wake up in the morning, that's exactly how it is. And then it's not until you record yourself or somebody tells you you've done something, or you wake up with blood all over you and then you've noticed that somebody's put you in that rage. With Candice, she's using the drugs to numb it off. So she could kill Summer and not even know she's done it. Because of what she's been through at Don. The horrificness of it all. Do I feel sorry for Candice? No. She's the adult. She's a mum. She kept having kids with this guy. Stayed with this guy. She had plenty of opportunities to get away from him. But she's having to deal with 4 lives here, not hers, 4 children's lives. She has to buck up and get on with and save. 4. And yet she didn't. But she saved the first 2 children. Yet she didn't save her 4. It's what a mother does. So this interview, I'm sorry, but why would you defend a person who's known for drug running? He is crippling drug dealers, calling them names and everything, and yet it's them that are feeding his wife. It's him who's paying them, keeping them in that business. He's two-faced in front of everybody. Listen to what he says about drug dealers, right, and drug addicts. Listen to what this guy says, right, about drug dealers, the drug addicts around his area, the drug dealers around his area. His missus is a bloody alcoholic and drug addict. She goes to them people and gives them the money. He goes to work and keeps these people in business. He's a two-faced, sorry, Summer. He's not very nice. I have to stay calm because Summer loves her dad. Right, I'm on Summer's side and the boys. Just listen to what he's got to say about drug dealers and that and drug addicts. Considering his wife, he allowed his wife to look after his 4 children, and especially the child he loved more than anything in this world. He allowed one of them to look after him. That's why he knew something was going to happen. Because of Candice's behaviour and her mother's behaviour. But yet you still let your child be brought up with this woman. Just what he says. Now remember, they use these people and they feed these people and they give these people money.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of people that come around, you know, constantly, day and night, all hours of the night, looking for pills or whatever, meth, I don't know, but yeah, we see that a lot. You know, like the picture I posted of the little red truck. You know, he got stuck there at 3 a.m. and they're yelling and screaming since 3 that morning. So when I went to work that morning, that's the first thing I was dealing with. You know, and then until the police showed up, but yeah, that's pretty common in that area. You know, a lot of rough characters around there, for sure.
Looking in the mirror, was you done?
Yeah, that sounds pretty.
Since you bring up the red truck,
here's the thing now. I love, and I'm not gonna deny this, Chasing the Truth. I love her. She's so hysterical. I love her accent. I just love, I watch her all the time. This Mr. and Mrs. shit, I don't like at all. I think they're a bit, how can I put this? Unknowledgeable. And these type of people are the ones that would forgive people for hurting children. He was a drug runner for definite. He'd done prison time for that. For definite. Bringing drugs into a country affects the children in that country, regardless whether they take it or not. It affects them. I don't know if you guys agree. If you don't, please let me know.
how did that tip come into play? Was that you that brought that up because you saw the red truck, or did somebody else bring that into play and tell you guys there was a red truck, or how exactly did the red truck come into the picture?
When I was leaving for work that morning, there was a guy at the bottom of my driveway wanting me to full start his four-wheeler. And then the police showed up, and he asked if I could go ahead and pull it over to his truck. So, and the policeman said, "Yeah, Mr. Wells just pulled over there, you know." And so I did. And when we got there, I seen the truck on the bank of the ditch there, high centered, and I asked the officers.
Now remember, guys, he said at the first interview, he turned around and said, "What truck? We didn't even know about any red truck." Go back and listen. On Candice and his first interview, Candice's one specially, with that news reporter, they both make it clear we don't know nothing about this red truck. We didn't even know until someone said it. Now he's admitting he knows about the red truck. Listen.
I take some pictures. He said, "No problem, Mr. Wells, go ahead." And he started asking him for paperwork, and when I went to the side of the truck to take a picture, there was some woman stuck her head out. There was a woman in that truck, and she looked like she ain't combed her hair for like 2 months. I don't know, but she just laid back down in there and covered up. But that kind of stuff is constant in our area, and you know.
He's just described himself. Has he seen? Is he delusional? Has he seen the pictures of their hairs not being brushed for months? Looks like they need a good wash. The children and stuff. He's describing himself. He's two-faced, guys. This is two-faced. Just keep listening.
All kind of stuff going on. You know, I think meth is becoming what it always has been.
You can watch this on Voices Behind the Wall. It premiered 17 hours ago.
It's getting worse, I guess. It's a serious problem. I guess it is everywhere. But yeah.
And that was the morning?
Well, sir, I didn't.
Sorry, that was that morning you left for work that happened with the four-wheeler and that?
Yes.
See, he's just figured it. If you look at Chasing the Truth, she's brilliant, right? She's not on nobody's side but the kid's side as well, right? Honest to God, these two are on Don's side, this Mr. and Mrs. Shea, but Chasing the Truth isn't. She is a God's honest, truthful person who's on the side of the children. She's a mother herself, right? And look at her face, because she now knows. He was very clear in that first interview, because she was talking about it on one of her live streams, that they didn't even know about the red truck, according to them. They didn't even know until someone told them, and the news people told them in that interview. He's just admitted it. That red truck was there that morning.
So the police were there June 15th, early in the morning then?
Yeah. Yeah, they just showed up because somebody else had called the law.
Wow. Well,
Did you guys know that? That not only was the CPS coming on the 15th, and that's why Candice and got the adults off the property, so everyone was off the property, so they couldn't get on the property to see the kids or anything, which is the oldest trick in the book. But the police was there that morning with the red truck that everyone said they saw on the corner. He made it very clear, and Candice said there was no red truck. They didn't even know about it till the interview. Go watch it, guys. And I think Chasing the Truth, I think she's figured it out because of her face. I'm hoping she has, because she's such a good person. Really, honest to God, she's such a good person. You should go see what she's like. She's really cool. She's funny as well.
you already know what I'm thinking, but we can't say it on this, so wow. Interesting. Huh. Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Shea's
Well,
going.
just for funsies and to give.
Mr. and Mrs. Shea are going to look like right fools at the end of this. Just saying. All us lot aren't. Chasing the Truth isn't, because she's not on anyone's side but the baby's side. Anyone who's on any of the adult sides, yeah, they are going to fail. But Chasing the Truth, us, the Mystery Angels, and a few other channels are for the children. We are on Summer's side. And this is the only reason why Don isn't getting tongue lashes from me. Because believe me, if you knew what I wanted to say about Don, it'd put him in tears. But out of respect for Summer, because she really, guys, she really, honest to God, loves her dad. She wouldn't have eventually. But what does a 5-year-old know about what love is? What is supposed to be natural father-daughter love, considering she shared a bed with him for 5 years? Now, people are saying, yeah, well, me and my husband have our kids in the bed. Yeah, but has your husband got a previous? That's what I'm saying. People with previouses, or even people that say in their family, oh, this happened. And even if you can't prove it, you'd be aware, wouldn't you? You wouldn't necessarily believe them, but you'd be aware. Don's always put Summer in front of Candice, right? Candice is probably so sick and tired of it all. And now on top of that, her dad left Summer everything instead of her. She's probably had it up to here that Summer's getting everything and she's getting nothing in return.
People laugh. Were you hiding in that shed when Chris did the interview with his wife? Or with your wife?
No, I was actually at work, and that's one of the things that made me mad when he commented something like that. I mean, knowing that all these people are watching his show, and we let him come up there to our house, and he's going to do us like that. Man, I just thought that was a little unprofessional. Really.
So if Don did go to work, just let's say, what's the big fuss? Chris didn't say it nastily. He just said, are you sure Don's not in the shed? In other words, he's saying Don doesn't have to hide, you know. And he just mentioned that that's Don's forte, is to run and hide in places like sheds and in cubbyholes and stuff. He's pointing the truth out. He's not lying. Chris isn't making it up. And like I said, I'm on no adult side. I'm on the side of Summer and the boys. That's it. So, but I couldn't see nothing wrong with Chris saying that. Because if he wasn't and he was at work, what's the big deal? Saying, nah, that's funny that, mate, but no, I wasn't. I was at work. Finished. Done. Why are you so upset? Why are you angry at it? The only time you would be angry at it is if every time people hit the truth or get close, the people who are guilty get very angst and start causing trouble and start typing and threatening people. And look at Candice, how she's threatened Juanita and that, and I'll bury you and all this, like calling the names and stuff like that. There's no need for that. Just saying.
Really upset me.
Definitely understandably, because when you put your trust in someone and then they turn around and try and paint you as the bad guy. And
why would you put your trust in a stranger? Although Chris is a good guy, right? He's a police officer, he does this, he does that. Yes, he might have some in his past, but he's a cop, you know. He gets results. He's for the kids. He protects the kids. He gets results. That's what we want. At the end of the day, they're adults. You know what I mean? He's there to find Summer, to protect Summer. So at the end of the day, he's there to find out the truth. He's not there to wipe every adult's butt. So I don't understand. How can you trust a stranger? Either you do the interview or you don't. All Chris did was let you speak and then just said the truth. And he seems to be angry at that. It seems to be like he wanted Chris to shine a light out of his arse. Well, if he wanted that, then he should have a light shining out of his arse from his own doing for being good. So I want you guys to watch the rest of this, right? And then comment down below what you think and what you think's going on here. Do you think Chris was being harsh with him? Because I don't. I just think Chris was telling the truth. Well, you know, your forte is to hide in things. Are you sure you didn't hide in the shed? And if he didn't, he would have said, no, I was at work, mate, honestly. That would have been the end of it. Why get angry? Why get upset? Because I've noticed when the kids lie to you and they try and tell you the truth and you're not believing them, you're like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds plausible. Yeah. Like this. They get angrier and angrier and angrier. And I've noticed with Don and Candice, if people say stuff that is close to the bone or is like telling the truth outright, they get angry with them. They get aggressive with them. So please comment. Oh, yeah. Please share, like, subscribe. Press the icon bell to get the information. Right, that's out the way. So come on, guys. Put your thoughts inside in that. You've heard Don Wells. The more and more he says, the less and less is getting there. Now, it's like people say, do you believe? I believe that it's inside that's done it. Do I believe Don has anything to do with it? I don't believe Don knew what was happening until it happened. And then he had to protect the boys and his wife. I reckon Don's going through mourning. That's why he's behaving the way he's behaving. Because when my wife passed, I went through disbelief. Then I went through, it can't be. This can't be right. Then I went through anger. Then I went through sorrow. And now it's just empty pain. So what do you guys think? I am on the side of Summer and the boys. Summer loves her dad very much, and is the only reason why I am not ripping him. Because trust me, I could. But I'm not going to, because Summer loves her dad. And she doesn't understand. Love is love to a child. If you're loved one way and you call that love, then the child's going to think she's loved, right? She doesn't realise she's not being loved the way she's supposed to, the right way, because she doesn't know what that is. Leave your comments down below what you think. Keep your family safe. Stay safe, guys. Keep your family safe. Love your children because they grow up so fast. Make a neighbour smile. It helps. And I'll catch you in a while, crocodile.